Over the past few episodes, we've transformed County Crossing from a struggling farm into a thriving settlement. Homes were built, defenses secured, and crops were planted. Each project brought us one step closer to creating a safe and self-sufficient community, all without using a single junk wall. Now it's time to bring it all together with one final addition, the marketplace, the heart of County Crossing. Over the past episodes, we've secured 3 sides of the settlement with structures, guard stations, and turrets. Today, we'll finish the job by securing the remaining side by building a large marketplace and closing off the remaining open area with a security fence. I originally planned to build another guard station in the south corner, but thanks to a viewer tip, I learned that objects placed there can sometimes disappear after fast traveling. To avoid the potential bug, I moved the security setup to turret platforms above the marketplace instead. Although we are building this in County Crossing, the marketplace can be built in other settlements as well, all without mods or glitches, so grab your tools and let's get started. We're starting by reorienting the stairs on the guard station to make room for a doorway. This will allow the settlers to reach the marketplace even when the security door is closed. Place a shack doorway roughly on the corner of the tower. It doesn't need to be perfect, just keep the gap as small as possible so that it looks clean and connected. Next, build a 3x8 deck using the shack foundations with the wood supports. Place it back far enough from the street so that it doesn't collide with the telephone pole. And set it high enough to minimize the amount of grass that pokes through the floor on the back. Don't raise it too high though. If you do, the center supports in the back won't reach the ground. Here's a few overview shots showing how I placed mine, but your exact placement doesn't need to match. As long as you clear the pole, you're in good shape. I decided to raise my first foundation a little bit to minimize some of the grass that was coming through. When you're satisfied with the placement, continue laying the 3x8 deck. If the first foundation isn't too high, the center back should be at ground level or just below. Shop 1 is a 2x2 structure with a small upstairs loft. Start by snapping 2 barn walls to the last 2 foundations on the left side of the deck. Snap 1 wall and a doorway across the back, 1 wall on the side, and then a doorway on the front opposite side. Across the top, snap half walls around the entire perimeter. Leave the front corner open for now. We'll come back to it later. In the corner by the back doorway, snap a half barn or warehouse floor, and then 2 full floors to the right. Snap stairs to the edge of the half floor to reach the upper level. Next, add a barn roof sloping from front to back. Fill in the remaining openings with the triangular wall pieces. Add a railing to finish off the loft. Outside, snap half warehouse glass walls to create display windows. I'm going to use this as a clothing shop, but the layout works well for any store that you might want to display merchandise. Above the doorway, add 2 rounded edge metal floors from the concrete section to form an awning. Finish the shop by snapping a wall and a doorway into the center of the shop as shown. Over on the opposite side of the deck, we'll build Shop 2, an open-air bar with walk-up counter service. Start on the second foundation from the back. Snap a barn wall and a doorway, and a wall on the side. You'll notice one foundation left open to the right. We'll use that space in a bit. Across the front, add a wall and a doorway, and then another wall on the side. Add a barn roof, and fill in the remaining gaps with triangular wall pieces. Now let's cover the bar area. Place a shack wall, not a warehouse wall, along the front edge. You'll notice that it won't snap between the foundations, so you can either line it up manually with the structure or temporarily remove a foundation to give it an edge to snap to. Attach the shack roof shown in the video, then another one on the opposite side. Make sure that you're using the same roof shown here, otherwise the concrete post won't fit underneath. Slide concrete posts under the outer corners for support. And that wraps up the bar section. Next, we'll enclose the center of the market area. Snap cement walls with wire mesh across the back opening. For an open look, cover the space with the mesh cement roofs. If you prefer a more rainproof option, use the solid roofs instead. I like the way the sun looks when it filters through the mesh roof, so I'm going to use that option. This area is 2 tiles deep and 3 tiles long. Plenty of room for 2 or more settlers to set up shop. Now let's add a sign above the market. Start by placing a long weapon rack display above the glass wall on Shop 1. Then snap 3 more to extend it. The sign will be positioned above the center of this roof. Rearrange the displays to form a rectangle above the roof. Slide plain raider poles behind the display racks on each side, moving them as close to the sign as possible. From the front, adjust the alignment. Add outhouses to the open space next to the bar. Slide them back as far as possible. Add doors, railings, support posts, and stairs wherever they're needed. For extra security, snap rooftop turret stands to each side of the bar roof. We'll come back and install the turrets later. Power was added using street lamps to bring the wires to the marketplace. Wires to power connectors provide ambient power to the entire area. If you'd like to close off the front of the market, start here next to the bar. Add an open window wall, a mesh screen wall, and a doorway across the front. We'll close it off fully once we move on to decorations. Finally, let's secure the remaining corner of the settlement. Connect the farm fence to the back of the bar using the concrete walls with wire mesh. They might not snap to the existing fence, so free place them if needed. Fill in any gaps with extra walls or posts. You can leave the extra farm walls in place or take them down. Either way works. This completely closes off the last corner of the settlement, keeping the enemy's spawn point outside of the fenced area. Here's a look at the marketplace with and without center walls. The first shop will be furnished as a clothing store. Place rugs first, and then spotlights at the base of the display windows. Armor displays make great mannequins and will be dressed with the Commonwealth's finest attire. Add furniture and a bright painting to finish off the store interior. The back room will be used for storage. I later removed the dresser to create more space for the settlers to walk. The shopkeeper will live in the upstairs loft. Nicely decorated with a comfy bed, this room will be welcoming after a long day. Tired of using the same old desk? Here's a new idea from Great Grandpa Gamer. First, place the table shown here, and then slide the small metal cabinet shown here under the table to create a large desk with a unique look. No glitches required. Add a few lights, a runner at the top of the stairs, and a few other details to make it feel like home. Back in the shop, place a clothing shop stand in the doorway as shown. Adjust furniture as necessary and add additional lighting as needed. Over at the bar, add some signs to the wall. To build the bar itself, place a tall Vaultec metal counter in front of the left post. Slide in 2 level 2 bar stands, and then add another counter table on the opposite end to complete the setup. For seating, I used the small Vaultec desks to make tables for settlers to sit and relax. After all that, you'll see in the tour that I decided to take them out. It made the space too crowded when everyone gathered in the evenings. I decided that bar stools were a much better option. I wanted to fit in an ice machine, but that meant rearranging the wall signs to make room. Inside, the bartenders have a small but bright living space, lit up with plenty of Nuka World signs. Here's another idea from Great Grandpa Gamer. Normally, sleeping bags can only be placed on the floor, but they can also be placed on hay bales so settlers won't have to sleep on the ground, and it gives the space a rustic touch without using any glitches. Since the signs on the other side show through the wall, I added even more signs to fill up the space. Add some lighting and it's move-in ready. To finish up the build, I closed off the open space in the center market next to the bar using a few Vaultec counters and a soda machine. The open window now serves as a walk-up counter, perfect for quick service. A bit of seating turns this corner into a small cafe where the settlers can come to relax. The other side sells scavenged items from the wasteland, stocked with a wide variety of useful household items to sell. Add some lighting and we're open for business. Outside, add neon letters on the marketplace sign. To get the letters centered perfectly, start with the middle letters of the word, then snap the rest in place. Hang a few string lights to add warmth and atmosphere. Place turrets on the platform above the bar to keep the marketplace secure. I also added a few wire connectors for the turrets and ran wiring for the soda machine through the roof openings to keep everything neat and connected. With that, let's take a final look at the settlement's defenses. With the marketplace complete, County Crossing now stands fully defended. Every structure along the perimeter has been reinforced, and strategically placed turrets create a strong and seamless defense, all without a single junk wall. Even the spawn point, located inside the settlement boundary, now sits beyond the security fence. County Crossing is secure and ready for whatever the wasteland brings next. Inside the clothing shop, we find our seamstress Emma. Little known fact, she taught Anne Hargraves how to sew. The Central Market has a wide selection of household items gathered from around the wasteland. Although items sell fast, there is never a shortage of things to be scavenged and resold. Lucas sells a mystery cola that the settlers can't get enough of. I've never tried it, but I've heard it's better than Nuka-Cola. Jerry and John run the bar, open to close every day. Neither's willing to leave first. Both are afraid the other one will pocket their tips.
Another day of hard work. Never changes.
Tucked above the shop is Emma's cozy loft, a quiet space where she spends her evenings sewing or simply enjoying a bit of peace and quiet. The County Crossing Marketplace is open for business. From the clothing shop to the open-air bar and cafe, the settlers now have a place to trade, relax, and connect as their community continues to grow. I'll put together a full tour of County Crossing to show how all these projects fit together, from the living quarters to the marketplace and everything in between. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you next time.